What's going on, YouTube? You know, I'm waiting for my Facebook family. And yeah, we're starting a little different. We ain't starting with the quote today. We start with my beautiful face. And we're going to go into it right about now. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? What's going on, Facebook? How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. My name is DeMarcus. I'm here for the beta project here today. And you can find me if you want to on YouTube also. Humble and focused, all one word, as you see below. And today's quote is, actually today is July 17th, 2019, and what you see is what you get. That's today's theme. So you're probably, I don't know exactly where you think I'm gonna go with this, but this is actually a pretty powerful when it came to me. I might have been in the shower and listening to something in the right mindset as usual, and all of a sudden, boom, it came to me, and I was like, I have to do a video on this. I thought I was gonna do a video about distractions, but that's not where I'm going today. Today I'm going with what you see, what you get. And so today's quote, the reason I didn't want to start off with today's quote, because I didn't want you to know exactly where I wanted to go with this. But now that you've seen me and I've introduced it, I think we can go ahead and show the first quote. What matters most is how you see yourself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it started. So the reason that I picked this as a topic is because there's too many times in our lives where the only reason that we don't get what we actually want, so we want things, but we don't get what we want because we don't see ourselves in possession of those things. We also don't see ourselves as the type of person who is allowed to have those type of things. So what matters most, like in this quote here, if you know anything about chess, that is a pawn and that is a king. The pawn is seeing itself as the king, as the most important, valuable piece on the board. And that's how that pawn is visualizing himself. That's what, if you look at it, he's viewing himself in a mirror, and that's what he sees. And so what is most important, ladies and gentlemen, is not necessarily your reality. It's how you see yourself. If you don't see yourself as powerful, you will never be powerful. So a couple quotes in one story. A friend of mine yesterday was really excited because she's finally getting herself into the swing of things, you know, coming back from a deficit. And not money, but just like a life that she's going through some problems. She was. And so she's trying to get back on her feet, and she was really excited. She's like, DeMarcus, I'm so excited. I'm like, congratulations. She goes, you know, some of the jobs I applied for, I think I got my favorite one. I'm like, yes. And she goes, you know, it's at this place. I'm like, cool. She goes, you know, I'm just a server. And I was like, oh. And I said, and you probably don't know why I said that. Maybe you do. The reason I said is because if you only see yourself as a server, when something comes into your life that is for you, that is more than what you see yourself as, if you only view yourself as just a server, as just a bartender, as just a lowly truck driver, as just a mechanic, as just this or just that, then you can never step up and fully get and grasp what is given to you or what is for you. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, if you see yourself as only a server, then you can only be a server. So that's what I was like, man, I really wish that more people saw themselves bigger than they are, because it matters. It truly matters. So that's the first quote. I love this one. Just looking at that makes me happy. There's one with a tiger there's one with a kitten that looks like a tiger. There's one with, there's all of them, but you know, it's the idea of the reflection of who you are inside. And this is what's reflecting. Who you are inside, who you believe you are, will matter more than who you actually are now. You judge me for who I am now, you've actually made a mistake, because I won't be here long. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's like going on a road trip, and you're like, hey guys, meet me at you're moving at 60 miles an hour, and you're like, hey, meet me at mile marker number 603. And someone gets there like, where are you? Well, you know, obviously I'm not there anymore. I kept moving forward. But the average person, they're like, oh, I meet me at 603, and they'll stop. And when you stop, you cannot get progress to get to your goal. And we can talk about progress and goals at another time, so let me go ahead and move forward to the next one. Here we go. Another quote, you'll never rise any higher than the way you see yourself. If you only see yourself as such, then you will only be as such. How high do you want to go? You know, do you see yourself as broke? Do you see yourself as poor? Do you see yourself as inadequate? Do you see yourself as overweight? Do you see yourself as dumb? Well, guess what? You won't be any higher than that. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was growing up, I had a lot of self-esteem issues. I had a lot of problems with not fitting in and feeling like I wasn't worthy enough. Still sometimes affects me here and there to this day. But in all reality, what I had to do is I had to look at myself in the mirror. And I didn't even know about all this personal development before I started doing this, which is even crazier. I looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, you are amazing. You are awesome. You are fantastic. You're gorgeous. You're amazing. You're everything you need to be. You're phenomenal. And by doing that, I didn't believe it at the time, but by saying it to myself, it came into my mind and things started changing, and I was starting to change who I was. But without me believing and seeing myself as higher, I could never go any higher. I would stay in that depressed state where it was not going to benefit me or anybody else. All right, third pick. Here we go. I love this. Where Zig Ziglar, I mean, look at the quotes, ladies and gentlemen. Look where they're coming from. We've got this one right here. Hold on, let me pull this up. We've got Joel Osteen, preacher. We've got Zig Ziglar, motivational speaker and business tycoon. All these things. So I can see why he would say this. You cannot perform in a manner inconsistent with the way you see yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, the same thing. If you honestly believe you are nothing and you cannot perform outside of the way you see yourself, if you are only a server, you will do server things. That's why I love partnering and seeing and working with people who are dreamers. Because dreamers have a tendency to see themselves over there. Not right here. Let me say, over there. Hold on, there we go. They see themselves way over there. Not right here. And the great thing is that when you see yourself way over there, you have a tendency to take steps to get there. Even though you may not necessarily make it because it might be a far-fetched goal, but you seeing yourself right here is not enough. That's why I love whenever you hear a child talk about how great they want to be and what they want to be when they grow up, etc., they're seeing themselves over there. But when you get to adulthood, you see yourself as right now. Why? Because as a dreamer, as a child, as a dreamer, you don't have the same problems and issues that might arise in your life that might take you away from that dream that you once had. But as a child, you don't have all the bills and everything else that's in between that's going to keep you where you are. So in all reality, the children who are looking over there are much more powerful than the adults that are right here. So you have to start seeing yourself, ladies and gentlemen, in a way that is more than what you are, because you cannot perform in a way that's inconsistent with the way you see yourself. If you are a juggler, ladies and gentlemen, you're a juggler, right? That's great. But you can't be also, you can't perform in a manner inconsistent of being a juggler. You can't put your head in the lion's mouth if you've never done that before. A lion tamer can put his head in the lion's mouth because he's done that before. I wouldn't advise a juggler to do all that because there might be some consequences. So whatever you want to be and whatever you want in your life, and if you want to perform in a certain manner, ladies and gentlemen, see yourself as that long before you take a step onto the stage. If you want to be a singer, sing yourself to death long before you hit the stage. And that way, when you get there to that point and you see yourself there and you perform in that manner, you can arrive. All right, and here's the last quote, and I saved this one for last because it's so powerful. It's from my friend Wayne Dyer. Not my best friend, don't even know the guy, but what he says is all truth, and I love it. So here's the quote. Be ready, because this is a nice one. The more you see yourself as what you'd like to become and act as if what you want is already there, the more you'll activate those dormant forces that will collaborate to transform your dream into reality. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to just break down this quote because there's so much in here right now. The more you see yourself, so one, it has to be a vision. You have to see yourself. Be willing to expand your mind as being more than just a server, more than just a bartender. The more you see yourself as what you'd like to become. What do you want to be, ladies and gentlemen? So that's another thing. You have to think about who you want to be. You have to take thought process and think about, sit down and wonder, put some energy into thinking about what you want to become. So the more you see yourself as what you'd like to become and act. So we've gotten back to the quote we did, or the video we did before about first you think, then you act. The more you act as if what you want is already there, meaning, ladies and gentlemen, if you act like you already have it in your possessions, it will become yours. The more you'll activate those dormant forces that will collaborate to transform your dream into reality. You will activate dormant forces, meaning there's things, ladies and gentlemen, waiting for you, dormant forces, and they will collaborate and come together and transform, create your dream into your reality. So the only thing you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, to get your dream that you're dreaming, which you've thought about, which is in your heart and your soul, and you believe, the only thing you need to get your dream into reality is you have to start acting and start thinking, and it will start being. The more you the more you think about what you want and believe it in your heart and act on what you want and put it into forward motion, then your reality is yours. Your dreams are yours. So don't ever say you were only just a something or you are just a something. Actually, that was another video. I'm just a or just is. I'm only just, and I might do another video on only just, but ladies and gentlemen, what you believe and what you see yourself as will be what you end up being in the long run. What you believe yourself to be will be only what you are. If you see yourself as only a pawn, then guess what? You're going to be a pawn. And there's nothing wrong with that. See, ladies and gentlemen, you think there's something wrong with that, but the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, most of us want more out of life. You know, I know you want more out of life because you're complaining about life. If you're complaining about life, then what you're doing is you're frustrated. Once again, that Marlene Trice thing I was talking about, you have where you are and then where you want to go. That in between is frustration. At one point in time, you were here, you weren't complaining about it, but now you see that you can give more, so you have to think about it. This is like a pawn being a pawn, and all of a sudden a pawn being seeing itself as a king. In between that step is a lot of frustration. But what you see yourself as is what you get. That's why the video is titled, What You See Is What You Get. Not necessarily, you open up, a package, oh, what I see is what I get. No, ladies and gentlemen, you are that package. And how you believe yourself to be is what you're going to achieve. So just step out of your comfort zone, ladies and gentlemen, and see yourself as more. You are more than just. You could be more than just. You just have to accept yourself as more than just. And by just, I mean ... add whatever you have there. You're more than just a secretary. You're more than just a CEO. See, that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. We assume that once we get to a certain level of success that we don't see ourselves as more because we got there. But ladies and gentlemen, when you get to the level that you thought of yourself, reimagine who you are and become something more. Because if you stop imagining, then you'll stop growing and reaching. Remember this last quote here, it says, the more you see yourself as what you'd like to become, once you get there and you stop acting on it, then you can't transform your new dream into reality because you stop dreaming about it. You stop thinking about it. So don't just stop when you arrive at your destination, ladies and gentlemen. Take hold of who you want to be, take stock in that, and go to that level. And once you get there, go to the next. As a child, you're going that way. Go up there. Get that mentality of a child where you believe that anything and everything is possible to you, because what you see and how you see yourself is what matters most. And what you see is what you're always going to get. So see yourself bigger and you will be bigger. See yourself more powerful and you will be more powerful. See yourself more financially free, more time freedom, more successful, more less pain in your body. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, what you see is what you get. If you think that you're in pain and you think that you're sick, you are sick. When I get sick, mentally, I know how strong the mind is now. I say, I'm fine, I'm well, I feel great. I repeat that over and over again, and guess what happens? I actually become great. And a lot of you are like, oh, okay. I'm telling you, it works. People who are willing to tell their bodies that they're okay are usually less sick than people who believe that they're always sick. Keep that in mind. So what you see is what you get, ladies and gentlemen. So my last question for you before I get out this video is, what do you see? Because that is going to be what you get. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm DeMarcus, and I believe and I love in each and every single one of you, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay blessed, stay positive, and let's go after and get it, and let's change the way we see ourselves. You're not just, you are so much more than that. Have a blessed day. I'll talk to you.